you're on the market for a 12 gauge shotgun and you're looking for something that's a pump action, it's hard not to think Mossberg. But with this is the Mossberg Maverick 88 security version, specifically the 31046 model. Now, my name is Brandon. Welcome to Classic Firearms. Let's go ahead and jump right into this particular shotgun, starting with the tech specs, and then I'm going to verify some of the information the manufacturer puts on their website, such as weight, trigger pull, and length and height, of course, but the shotgun heights, whatever you may have it. Let's go ahead and jump into the tech specs. First things first, we already discussed that this is a 12 gauge shotgun. The finish is blued on it. The chamber size is 3 inches. The barrel length is 20 inches total. The choke, it is a cylinder bore, and the magazine is 7+1. Now, being in the ballpark of $250, that's a lot of capacity. Total overall length is 41 inches. Total weight measuring in at 6.5 pounds. Your stock is synthetic black, and your front sight post is a bead. Now, I will also just throw in there, even though it doesn't state it, that this is also the same material as your stock, your forend up here, but it is very grippy and very nice. Of course, with the 12 gauge, it's always fun to rack them and hear that, like get off my lawn style. Moving on to the actual shotgun, we're gonna start from tip, work our way to the butt, and move all the way down. So, like I said, you do have that front bead sight up front, which is exactly as you expect, a small gold little bead. And then you have that 20-inch barrel. The one thing to note about this shotgun as you start out is everything is simplistic. There's no extra bells and whistles. It's not going to cost an arm and a leg. It is very simple, gets the job done, and that is exactly what this is intended to be. You have that forend, which is very easy and satisfying to actuate every single time. Very smooth right out of the box. As you can see, I literally just took it out of the box. The box may have a dent, but we'll move on. You do have your engravings right up top that are going to help you with getting down sight just a little bit faster, giving you something to actually use as kind of, not necessarily a rear sight, but help you at least line it up with that front bead. You have your safety right here. See if I can get you a good viewing of that. Obviously, red for dead, and black means safe. Your trigger, your ejection port area, your barrel, and your magazine are all made out of metal, including the mechanism that actually slides in and out to actually move and actuate the firearm. This is what you want to see. Very nice, robust, reliable, and that's pretty much what you're going to get there. Moving on. On the back portion of the trigger guard, you are going to see that little knob that allows you to release the forend and cycle the shotgun. Now, we do check these before we ever put them on camera as far as being clear, being safe. I'm going to show it to you just to make sure, but we're going to put it on fire. This does not protrude all that much. It actually sinks back up into the firearm as soon as you are no longer able to use it and you are just ready to go. You push it back out, and now you can see it just protruding just ever so slightly right here. I'll have to get you some B-roll of that because it's a very small part. However, pull that trigger and it sinks right back up into the shotgun. Show it one more time. There it is. So that way it's not something that will snag on gear, on whatever you're carrying it with, whether you have a sling on it or not. That's just pretty nice. The trigger pull does feel, let's go ahead and give that a pull. A little bit of movement, nice wall, and you pull through that wall. Feels like about 4 to 5 pounds. We're gonna see if that's right in a minute. Actually, I might just grab that in a second. One more pull so you can see it. Yeah, very clear, definitive wall there, which is very nice, and something you'd expect from Mossberg. So now we're gonna start testing some of these things here. We do have our handy dandy trigger gauge here, so let's go ahead and see how heavy this trigger is. In 3, 2. Says 2 pounds. I felt like it was more than that. Let's try it one more time. 3, 2. 3.14 pounds. Man, I was off. One more time to give an average. In 3, 2. 4.8. Because we're getting varying pulls, I'm going to do it one more time and get something consistent. Because we're getting varying pulls, we're going to do it one more time and see what is most consistent here. In 3, 2. Okay, so right around 2 to 3 pounds for this trigger, actually, which is pretty impressive. This is 2.6. Pretty much every reading I was getting was either like 2.5, 6, 7, or like 3.2. So they're right in that ballpark. A very nice trigger. You can definitely feel that wall. Very well done by Mossberg. Moving back just a little bit farther on the shotgun, you have a synthetic stock. So it is made out of polymer, but you do have a very nicely aggressive, I would say this is actually very aggressive here, where you're actually going to grip the shotgun with your shooting hand or your trigger hand. It's going to be very, very nice. You're not going to lose that, especially when sweating, because it is just very aggressive. I can squeeze it down and clamp down on that very nicely. Moving back, you do have a sling swivel mount on the rear of the buttstock and a very large butt pad. Now, I do notice that one way you can tell that this is a newer version of the shotgun is the butt pad actually has these little triangle portions in here, which my guess is they make it a little bit squishier than previous models, but it is very, very nice and very squishy. Like, this will take that impact so nicely on my shoulder from that 12 gauge recoil. Now, right up front, you can see we do have that final sling swivel mount. Yeah, so if you wanted to run a sling, you'd go front and back. All right, so we're gonna measure it now. Make sure I got the whole thing in frame so you guys can see it. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Website says 41 inches. We're gonna see if that's true. So holding it there, pulling it all the way back. It's actually about 40 and a half. So not quite 41. A little shorter than you might expect. Never heard that before. But your height is right at 5.5, almost 6 inches. So it's pretty close to what they said on the website. All in all, not gonna be mad about that. We're just gonna go ahead and get a trigger portion here as well. I am curious as to how tall that is. Right about 3.5 inches. Everything else is probably gonna be right at that 2.5 to 3 mark. So yeah, all in all, not a large shotgun, not very heavy, at least from feeling it here. Website says 6.5 pounds. I'm gonna grab the scale and we're gonna go ahead and see if that's actually accurate. All right, scales on the table, shotguns on the table. Let's see how much it weighs. Anticipation killing you? No, okay. We are at 5.97. 5.97 pounds. They said 6.5. It is lighter. My guess is maybe they had it actually loaded up. That's the loaded weight to it. Normally, manufacturers will put the unloaded weight. So, hey, all in all, they're giving you expectations that are actually lower than what they're actually giving you. So giving you more than just slightly than what you're expecting. So that's very, very nice. That's all I have for you guys today. If you have any experiences with a Mossberg pump action, specifically in the Maverick 88 security line, please leave a review down below. We would love to see your comments. I know I'll be down there seeing what you guys have to say and answering any questions that I may have missed. With all of that being said, you guys have a great day. So God bless, stay safe. It is time to end. Now, I'm gonna go see if that butt pad helps with that 12 gauge recoil.